Welcome back to Kettlebells and Cocktails. I'm your host, Nikki, and this is another Focus on Female episode. And I am so very excited to have with me Stacie Tovar here today. How's it going, girl?
Hi, Nikki. It's great to have you. Where are the cocktails? That's what I
I
kettlebells and
know.
cocktails.
Usually when John and I record in the evenings, we like low-key do actually have cocktails.
Yeah, that
As
sounds
this is like
incredible.
the middle of the day, I have a coconut water.
Oh, there you go. And I have my
I feel
water
like,
right here. But
yeah, a
thanks
little
so
bit
much
of a
for
faux
having
pas.
me. Yeah.
Of course. Thanks for being on. I feel like when I am scrolling through Instagram and also like scrolling through my memory in trying to figure out the types of guests to have on this show based upon the feedback that all the listeners are giving me, you just like skyrocketed to the very top of the
Oh.
list because you are an absolute legend in our sport and in our space. And because your life has just undergone so many really wonderful changes over the last few years. So I just want to catch up on how things have been going and how things have been changing and how you are still so incredibly involved in our space, starting with moving your kid count from
Yeah,
1 to
I know.
2.
I know.
Holy moly.
And you know what?
Congratulations.
Honestly, thank you so much. Yeah, the last 5 years have been a total like whirlwind since I put my shoes down on the finish line at the 2017 CrossFit Games. But it's been an awesome 5 years too, even though I can't remember most of it.
Right. Right. Sleep deprivation will
I
do that
think,
to you.
and I think the prego brain is in total full effect. You know, going from 1 to 2, going from 0 to 1 was much harder for me than going from 1 to 2 for sure. I just missed competing in general. I was petrified of what my body was going to do, if it was going to come back to what it was. I knew nothing about how to take care of a child. I mean, every day was just a total guessing game. And yeah, but it turns out it was the best decision I could have made. And although I do miss the sport, like mom life is in full effect. And yeah, I'm really stoked to have two little guys now.
But you are still so very much involved in the sport. I mean, I know that you're not out there at the CrossFit Games every year, but you do own an affiliate, right?
I
That's
do.
like your
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's keeping us super busy. And yeah, I'm on the athlete council as well. So I'm still on advisory calls and still very much part of HQ and the athletes and in the know. So yes, it's a different side. I think I like both sides, but I really do miss competing a lot. But yeah.
I mean, you had a chance. We did see you out on the competition floor just a few months ago when you
It
were
was
still
so much
pregnant.
fun. So much fun. I was 21 weeks pregnant. Yeah. And honestly, um, that was like the least stressful of competing ever because
What?
yeah, it was like, okay, well, I can't do that. I didn't even think I was going to be able to do a ring muscle up. And then backstage, I was like, well, I'll just try it. And then I just got up on the rings and I was like, I think I can be able to do like singles when I'm out there. And the guys were like, all right, this is amazing. Like, we don't have to scale a workout. So yeah, it just ended up being super fun and just stress free and just a lot of great memories and catching up with the athletes. I was just there more or less to mingle. But
Yeah.
competing was a lot of fun too. And I never would have thought like I would be saying here now today, like 21 weeks, I was pregnant with my son Nolan in me, and yeah, I had a great time.
It
So
was so fun to watch. Well, that rogue competition is incredible to watch every year anyway, but then, like, the Legends division, the fact that it was all partner workouts, the fact that
yes,
you were pregnant, it was like icing on the
yes.
icing on the icing on the cake. It
I
was
know.
so
It really was. And Chris Spieler did an amazing job programming that. Like all the athletes felt great. We felt like we weren't going to miss a beat at work the next week. I felt incredible. Like I said, we didn't have to scale a single workout. So, I mean, kudos to those guys for making it happen. And yeah, being out there and to Katie and the road crew for having me, like that was super awesome. So I hope I get to go back. That would be really
yeah.
fun.
I'm curious to know. I feel like when I was pregnant and I was posting, like, even just like walking around the block, I would get the haters coming out being like, "Oh, you shouldn't, blah, blah." You know what I mean? Did you get
Yes.
any backlash for competing pregnant?
Actually, I only got a few, and I was relatively surprised. At this point, I'm kind of just like, I don't even care about Instagram. Like the haters are always going to hate no matter what you post these days. I feel like we're just so, I don't know, divided. It's
Yeah,
kind of
it's a
crazy.
hot garbage fire,
But
the internet
yeah, right.
still. Yeah.
Exactly. Um, I really didn't. And all along, I feel like, I mean, you know this too, being pregnant, you just kind of listen to your body. It's kind of one of those really weird intuitions you get that I feel like is just on overdrive. You have intuitions all the time, but when you're pregnant, there's just something about you that you're just like, yeah, I think I can do this, or no, I think today's not the day. And I went in feeling great. My doctor, I had been doing CrossFit the whole time. I knew that Chris was going to take really good care of me with the programming. And it was going to be just a lot of fun. And that's the way I kind of went with it. And I feel like when I talked about that in my social media posts, people kind of got that approach that I wasn't out there to like PR, I was out
Right.
there to have just a lot of fun and to really truthfully say that I did it at 21 weeks pregnant, show other moms that they totally can do it too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think making that statement is so important. There was an athlete that was pregnant at the Syndicate Crown, where I was reporting a few weeks ago, and she I'm fairly certain came in, like, dead last, and she had, like, a tank top on that said, like, "Wadding for 2," or it had, like, cute little
Oh,
feet on the belly or whatever, and same kinda thing, like, I think she knew she wasn't there to PR, she knew she wasn't punching her ticket to the games, but she qualified, and she really wanted to compete, and I just feel like that's important to show that, like, we're not sick and we're not, like, injured when we're pregnant,
well,
like, we're
yeah,
just ourselves and we're capable of so much, and within reason and within whatever, you and your medical team together decide is safe for you, there's so much activity that can happen.
totally. I
Tons.
just think, yes, I feel like all women should really truly like it's not about lifting more weight. It's not about mom strength. It's not about that. It's literally think about what you're doing for yourself, for your recovery and the recovery and the health of your baby too. Um, you know, a baby is traumatized after coming out of your vagina. Like, I mean,
Mhm.
it's a big
Aren't we all?
it's
Aren't
a
we all?
yeah, it's a really big deal, and I feel like if you provide them with that normal, then they're going to recover just as quickly as you did as a mom working out while you were pregnant. So it is just about that. Just move a little bit. You don't have to be a rock star or superstar. And you know what? Honestly, sometimes like deadlift, I remember sometimes you are a superstar because that mom strength is just crazy and you're just like, I don't know how I just lifted that, but that felt incredible. I looked great. And I just lifted a lot more than I had lifted in a while. So there's that. You just kind of go by feel and you know yourself better than anyone. So yeah, there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with working out while you're pregnant.
No, hell yeah. I would love to know from you now that you've done it twice, and if you're comfortable sharing, but I would
Yeah.
love to know, like, how were your births different? How do you feel like they were affected by what you did or didn't do throughout both pregnancies? 'Cause personally of the belief, because it worked for me, but of course every human body is different. I'm personally of the belief that because I worked out and because I did CrossFit my entire pregnancy, like, it made my birth really easy, honestly.
Mm,
Like, I
yeah.
was already conditioned to working hard, enduring a lot, feeling pain, whatever. But not everybody is the same way. And some people are like, my muscles were really tight, and that was not the way I wanted things to go. So I'd be curious to know, how did it go for you, and how was it different both times?
Yeah. So I think with your first, you kind of don't know what to expect. And so with my second, I was kind of like, okay, now I can compare apples to apples. I With Gavin, I worked out up until 2 days before I gave birth. With Nolan, which is my second, I worked out up until 5 days before giving birth. I had zero symptoms of labor with Gavin, my first, and I thought I was going to have a baby 9 days before I did with Nolan.
Oh,
So
oh my God.
I know it was crazy. I had every symptom except for my water breaking, literally every symptom. With Gavin, my water just broke. Like I walked for the last 2 days. I just walked. I was feeling a little bit of pressure. So I knew that he had dropped significantly. And I just was like, I think that was my last workout. I'm okay with that. And 2 days later, We were walking for probably 20 minutes a night. I had him in June, so it was extremely hot here in Nebraska. And yeah, one night I was just sitting there watching the Carl's World Series and my water broke on the couch. And then it was game over after that. I know. So
We're done here.
yeah, it was pretty incredible. I did get the epidural with Gavin. So I knew with Nolan, I told my doctor, do not talk me into getting the epidural. And
Why? Why
I
didn't you want it?
I just wanted to experience. So Nolan is my last. I'm done having kids after this, and I knew I
Got
wanted
it.
to experience what a natural birth felt like. So I think that my mental space was already prepared, and I did it. I did not get the epidural. I asked for it, and my doctor was like, "Stace, like." I forget what she said. I think she lied. She was like, "You're a little too far along," and I knew I wasn't, but whatever. Maybe I was, and so
She was
I
just
took.
trying to help
I
you.
she was, and she did great. She kept her word, so it was amazing. But my recovery, I was severely depressed after I had Gavin. Like I didn't I was. I'm not gonna lie. I had no idea what I was doing. I just wanted my old life back, traveling the world and working out and being around cool people and getting paid to do that was pretty awesome. and
Yeah.
and then I brought a kid into the world and it all just kind of stopped, you know?
Yeah.
And I was depressed. So I was, depressed about the way I looked. I wasn't quite sure how long it was was I gonna come back to what I used to look like? I mean, you just kind of never know. And I just took it one day at a time. I was super concerned about like breastfeeding and pumping and having enough supply and all this and that. So I just really took it easy. And, sure enough, after a few months, everything was fine. And I got my body back and, I was back to doing things that I once loved to do. And having a baby didn't, really stop me from doing much of that. Come to find out, you just kind of make it all work. With Nolan, I was way less stressed. Like I kind of knew what to expect. I feel like having a natural baby, I was on cloud nine. I felt like Superwoman for like months. I mean, he's only 3 months old. I still feel like amazing, $1,000,000,
Yep.
and I'm
Yep.
way less stressed. You kind of know what to expect, and I feel like my body has responded a lot quicker because of that, if that makes sense. Like it took
Yeah.
me probably 6 to 8 months before I started to feel normal, like have a strong core, feel like I could actually hold a plank for 30 seconds without shaking tremendously, with Gavin. With Nolan, I'm doing things that I didn't think I was doing when I had Gavin. And I attribute that to just being a little bit less stressed about everything right
Yeah.
now.
Oh my
So,
gosh. Well, stress wrecks your body. And so people don't realize like it has legit negative physical and mental implications like across the board. And there is no more stressful time in your life than when you are a first time parent.
yeah, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, and I feel the baby, like, I don't know, my body, I feel like I mean, I only have 5 more pounds left to lose before I'm at pre-baby weight. That didn't happen with Gavin. I was, and I'm doing everything I did. I'm still eating, I'm breastfeeding, I'm pumping, I'm still producing, I think it's just literally like a stress response, and I feel that much more confident in myself as a mom, that things are just kinda happening naturally in the gym, which is great.
Yeah. It's really nice to hear because I had severe postpartum anxiety when I first got home. It lasted about 6 weeks, about 6 to 7 weeks before I really started to feel normal again. And the more research I do and the more I talk to my still see my postpartum therapist once a month. She's amazing. We'll probably see
Awesome.
her for life. Love her to pieces. But she's kind of prepping me as we talk about having more kids someday that, like, oftentimes women who feel those types of symptoms when they first get home from the hospital, they feel them again. That happens again. So it's really nice to hear that you felt very different after your second baby than your first. I mean, I think that some of that stuff is hormonal. You can't do anything about it. Like
Yeah.
your brain chemistry is going to make you feel how it's going to make you feel. But there's a lot environmentally, stress related, like mindset related, a lot of work you can do or put in to kind of just help bolster that not happening a second time or not maybe not the same way.
Right. Yes. I think it also helped. Like my first, I don't know if Hunter is sleeping, but Gavin is still not sleeping through the night. He's an awful sleeper. And I think when you talked about being sleep deprived, like you just pair that with stress and then you just want your body back, it's like,
Yep.
it's a kind of a train wreck. But with Nolan, he sleeps through the night. I always hate to tell
What?
moms this because they would tell me this when I had Gavin and I didn't have Nolan, and I would get so pissed off. I'd be like, "Look, I don't want to hear this again. Okay, I already know your kid sleeps through the night.
Your
Good
kid
for
sleeps.
you."
Congratulations.
Yeah, I know, right? Yes. So I think that again is just a sign of, hey, like this is the way it's supposed to be. Maybe like
Yeah. Yeah.
supposed to just
Totally.
chill out and the baby will chill out too. I
I
guess.
think that's so they can 100% pick up on your vibe.
Yeah.
100%. I'm glad that he's giving you a little bit of an easier time because we always joke because Hunter is like the easiest fucking baby in the world.
Oh, that's
He's a
incredible.
trick baby, right? Like he's the kind of baby that tricks you into having like 10 more babies
Yes.
until the second baby, right?
Yeah.
Because then I hear that the second baby is like the actual hellion. So that's what we're
I have
totally
a
freaked out
friend. I
about.
have a friend. I have a friend that happened to, and she's like, now I don't
Mm.
know if I want a third or a fourth. It's like, oh
Right.
my gosh. So
Right.
yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
You're not finding that though. It sounds like Nolan is the chill one.
Nolan is the chill one. Yeah, I know.
Oh.
He's great. He's
Is
great.
it true that the second one kinda just raises himself? You're like, "Oh, that's you're fine."
Yeah, yeah, that tends to happen too. He's got to learn how to cry it out a little bit more longer and a little bit more frequently than Gavin. And I think they kind of know. And they also have like things to look at. Like when I'm busy with Gavin, there was nothing to look at when Gavin would cry on the floor. He'd be like, "Where's my mom?" But like Nolan can see us, he can hear us. He can watch me do things with Gavin. I also feel like maybe I just wasn't paying attention to Gavin, but he catches up. Like he is very observant, and maybe I didn't really even realize what Gavin was looking at or what he was doing at this fine age of 3 months, but he knows what's up. So
Yeah,
it's pretty cute. It's pretty cute.
that's awesome. And now are you, like, back to work at your affiliate? Are you really already it's
I am.
only been 3
Yeah,
months and you're already
I
kinda
know.
cranking on everything.
Yes, he went back to daycare on June 1st. So it
Oh,
was short 12 weeks, but I was ready. Dustin had been holding the fort for the long, and I was in and out of the office. I just wasn't putting in full days, still writing the programming, still inputting it into this back end, still checking in on my coaches. We had an intern that started, I guess, a week before I came back to work. So I really had to get back to the office. But it's nice to know that like I have the best coaches ever. Like things were just running so smoothly. They didn't bother me if they absolutely didn't have to, or if they really needed something. And yeah, we just kept cranking along even after we just moved into the facility. So yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better team.
oh, you just moved your business? Like, you didn't have enough going on?
Yeah, I know. Well, it wasn't supposed to happen like that. It was all planned, I promise. We were supposed to be in our building last October, and of course, like between the pandemic and this and that, there was literally, I don't know, some electrical piece that was on back order forever. They weren't sure when they were going to get it in, so it pushed us back until December. So I was like, okay, well, that's still 5 months before I have to have this baby, or 3 months before I have to have this baby, and then it got pushed to January, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, well, we're moving and I'm going to have a baby in like 2 months, and then we're going to be in this building and I'm going to be on maternity leave. So whatever, we just rolled with it.
Good luck,
But we're
everyone.
here. I know yeah, exactly. But we're here and they crushed it and I have the best team ever. So
That's
yeah,
awesome.
we're
So
starting to hunt.
how do you deal with, because as an affiliate owner, and if you're coaching or if you're managing coaches, whatever, you have kind of an irregular schedule. How are
Mhm.
you managing like the pumping and the picking up the daycare routine and all that stuff?
Yeah, that was pretty tricky. That the amount of bags you have to haul as a mom,
Oh
like
my god, ain't
tell me
that the
about
truth.
this. I know.
God, I need a wagon. That's
I
what I need.
know, exactly, exactly. So that's been tricky, but honestly, I'm pretty much behind the desk. I'm not really on the floor a whole lot anymore. We have a really, like I said, a really awesome team to help out with the coaching side of things. So pumping is actually okay. I can do every 3-4 hours. But I will tell you, like, not being at home and having him on my breast, I can tell that my supply has dipped a little bit. And that could also be just from activity. Yeah, when I got back to the office, I don't know how it happened, but I just randomly lost 5 pounds. I didn't change a thing. I think it was just because I was on the go and I had a lot going on that first week back to work, trying to catch up with everyone. And I had meetings and I ate the same. I just feel like there's a difference between the breast pump and the actual suckling of your baby on your boob. So
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna.
100. So can I just say that was like one of my biggest anxiety triggers when I was first trying to like establish my supply and figure out like everything because and apparently this happens to a lot of women, but like the the baby empties the my boob like 10 times better than the pump. Like
Yeah,
I can sit on the pump for like 45 minutes and I'm still only going to get like a couple ounces. But
yeah,
if I put milk in a bottle, he'll eat 8 ounces at once. So I'm like, I
yes,
know I'm making enough and I know he's eating 8 ounces in a sitting because he doesn't leave hungry. Like he's good for 3 or 4 hours in between feeding.
isn't that funny? I know.
It's nuts. And then like I don't know if you can relate to this, but like the quote unquote advice from lactation consultants is so variable across the board, right? I saw two lactation consultants at the hospital. I had two meetings with lactation, like Instagram lactation consultants, like people that you can like book with, like, and everyone's telling me different shit. And they're all like, "Well, just pump for longer or just pump more or like just pump to comfort a little bit." And I'm like, "Well,
This is the thing.
y'all say that if you don't empty the boob, then your supply will dip. Y'all
Yep.
say that if you do pump too much, that your supply will." It's like all fucked up. So I was just like panicked
Yes.
about sending him to daycare the first time because I'm like, what if this is the end of my breastfeeding journey? And don't get me wrong, breastfeeding is a royal pain in the ass, but I personally happen to like it a lot and want to keep doing it for longer. So I was just terrified. I'm like, he's going to be gone. He's going to take 16 ounces with him when he leaves the house. I'm not going to make 16
Yes.
ounces while he's not here. Like,
Yes. 100%. Do you know who my lactation consultant was actually?
who?
It was my sister. My sister. I saw like three freaking just like you. And
Mhm.
she's like, well, first of all, like he needs to be up. And she literally just took his head, I remember, and she just was like, and I was like, oh, like that. And
Like
she's like,
koala hold
yeah,
style?
yeah, I know, right? And then it was like game on. It was like perfect after that. Yeah. And I was like, why didn't the lactation consultant like tell me this?
Mhm,
Help me with
mhm.
this? Like, I really don't even know. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all, it's
Oh,
all
it's a
all
journey.
weird.
The breastfeeding
It
journey is like I
is.
have like 5 different pumps at my house. Like, I'm not kidding. I tried everything because I was just panicked. And
Yeah.
also, I think for me, my mom could not breastfeed, tried really hard, just like didn't make milk. And so I was really paranoid going into it that I was like genetically not going to be able to do this. So anything I could think of, like I've got every pump and every it's so stupid. And now my supply is like nice and established and the baby goes to
Oh,
daycare 3
that's
days a week and we have no problem and we have a small
oh, that's
freezer stash,
so
like things are good. But
that's
looking back on it, I was like, holy shit, how many like nights of sleep did I lose just being like, what are my nipples gonna do tomorrow? Like,
I
oh
know.
Jesus.
And that's another thing that happened with Gavin is I was like I said, I was so stressed out about my supply. Like I was so stressed out about pumping and doing it right and all this and
Mhm.
freezing and all this stuff that I with Gavin, I just it was it, yeah. I remember I stopped pumping. What did I do? I know he lasted until 8 months. So
That's great.
I was proud of doing that. But I did get my period at 4 months. That's what happened. I got my period at
Uh-huh.
4 months and then my supply just totally tanked. I would, okay, you talk about pumping for like 45 minutes. I would pump every hour on the hour, listen, to get 1 ounce.
But
Yes. Yes.
no.
Yes. He was up in the middle of the night so frequently that I would just sit there and pump. And I actually made it from 4 months to 8 months off of frozen freaking breast milk.
Holy moly.
Yes. I have not really told anyone that story. So
Oh.
when Nolan came, I was like, you know what? Number one, rule number one, if this kid sleeps through the night, I am not fucking waking up
Oh,
to fucking
hell
pump.
no.
I
Nope.
am
Nope.
not
Nope.
waking
Nope.
up to pump. And second of all, if my supply dips, I am not going to stress about it. I am just going to deal with it. I'm going to freeze and then whatever. Like
Yep.
whatever's going to happen is going to happen. So here I
That
am.
is so and are you finding that you're able to, like, breastfeed better and longer because you're less stressed about it? Yeah.
I feel like you know, why
Mm,
why in the middle of the night when he does randomly wake up, like he's full and he's good for hours upon hours, and then or even before we go to bed, like after I just pumped at 4 o'clock and it's ready for him to go to bed and he sleeps all night long, why do I only pump like 3 or 4 ounces then? I don't get it.
uh-huh.
You
I
know,
don't know.
like
I
every
don't know.
time
It doesn't make any sense. It truly does not make any
but
sense.
I'm
I don't
not worried
know.
about it because it's happening. So
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, like, they're just like Mother Nature just is always better, right? Like, they're just better. Like, a baby's designed to be better at removing milk from the breast than this weird mechanical system. But I will tell you one piece of advice that this actually legitimately worked for me. I got silicone
Mm,
flanges. I
I
will
bet you
send you the link.
I bet
Mhm.
you that helped. Yeah.
And they kind of like collapse around your
Yeah.
nipple, and the first time I watched it happen to my own boobs, I, like, emailed them, and I was like, "Your things are crushing my nipples, I don't think this is right," and they were like, "No, they do that on purpose, they try to mimic, like, what the baby's tongue
That's
does." Yeah,
awesome.
the company is called Pumpables, and they're actually
Cool.
really, really neat, they're kinda new, and, their stuff's affordable, and they make a portable pump that I love, usually it's sitting right here, but it's not right here.
Cool.
And it's like $150, like, it doesn't break the
Nice.
bank. It's
Yeah,
yeah, that
that's
really helped
awesome.
me.
Have you found any food that really, like, helps boost your supply too?
No, and I've tried it all. I eat a lot of oatmeal because that's what they fucking say. I bought
Me
every
too.
supplement. I bought, like, hydration booster and whatever, and I actually bought one, like milk supplement that's like a chai tea, and
Okay.
it made me feel
Oh,
weird. Like,
okay.
it made me, like, lightheaded and
Oh,
not
yeah.
good. Yeah, I don't know. It was, like, too much, like, milk thistle or whatever the fuck.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, I know. There's so many things out there.
Yeah. Did
I've
you
done it
find anything?
all. You know, I tried fenugreek. I tried, like,
Yeah.
the legendary milk has, like,
Tried
pumpkin.
all of those.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I know. Oatmeal and then randomly zucchini for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. I just find that and, oh, I guess steak and potatoes. Like if I go ham on a nice red piece of meat or bunch of potatoes, like yeah, just
That's awesome.
yeah, gives me a little extra. I'm not talking like I'm pumping 8 ounces, but an extra ounce or two I'll take. So
Absolutely. Yeah,
yeah,
100%. I find that now I'm pumping now that everything's established, I'm pumping about 3 times a day. Like, I'll even on days he's home, like, he's home 2 days a week, and I'll pump 3 times a day, like, after a feeding just to, like,
yes,
get full
yes,
whatever, and then
yeah,
that's the freezer stash, and then if I can get, like I don't sometimes I'll get 16 ounces while he's gone, which is wild. I gotta
wow,
really stay on top of my shit and, like,
that's
pump
awesome.
during a lot of meetings, a lot of Zoom calls with my camera off.
That's so
Um,
cool.
but if I get between, like, 12 and 14 while he's gone, if it's not, like, perfect, I don't stress about it anymore.
Yes, I
And
know.
it's fine.
I know.
Whatever.
Yeah, I know. I
Whatever.
did actually, and I actually, I don't know if you're on like the Enfamil shortage or if you're planning on doing that anytime soon or if you're good, but for all the moms out there, I did actually put an order through Walmart. I've tried everything because I'm like, I have a good stash, but I better just put something in my back pocket. And then
Yeah, smart.
my sisters do July 11th, and I'm just gonna be that sister that, hey, if for whatever reason she doesn't produce or she can't latch or whatever, like I'm gonna be that person that has some supply so she's not stressed out about that because you're
That's
already stressed
awesome.
out about everything. But anyway, I just put an order in through Walmart last week and it came. I was like shocked because I had tried Walgreens, CVS, like of course every time I go to the grocery store, I just kind of look at the shelves and no, there's nothing there. So yeah, for all the moms out there, Walmart actually saved the day. So now I have supply. Now I'm
Amazing.
like extra relaxed. So maybe I'll, produce more. I don't know.
Yeah, hell yeah, you will. That's awesome. Oh, thank you for saying that. I know that people are really struggling. My brother's really struggling because
Oh,
his baby is 6 months behind Hunter. It's about
ugh,
4 months and is on the special preemie formula because he came
oh,
6 weeks early, and
mm,
man, they are struggling. It sucks. It
yeah.
really, really sucks.
Oh my gosh, I
Yeah,
know, so scary. So
yeah.
scary.
Weird times, man, weird times. Well, so I would love to know from you, you've gone through both of these journeys. They've been a little bit different. I mean, same, but different,
Yeah.
in all the good ways. But it seems like this kind of recurring theme that you had, especially in your first pregnancy, that so many of us have the first time we go through it, is this kind of like will I get my body back, my physique back, my performance back in the gym? And it's like, it's so honestly, it's part of why I did not want kids for so long. I spent a lot of my
I
lifetime not wanting children because I was like, fuck it. I work really hard to just not be chunky. And
Yeah,
like, I'm not signing up for cankles for life. I'm
I
not
know.
doing it.
I know.
So
Yeah,
come to find out, it's all what you make of it. But yeah, I would just love to like hear a little bit more about what that mindset shift was like for you the first time and then the second time. Like, has it been
yeah.
the same, different? Yeah.
Yeah, I do trust my doctor and I love her to death. But I remember asking her this question after I had my first Gavin, and she's like, Stace, everything will be fine. Like, you took great care of yourself. You gained 21 pounds with Gavin. Like, that was perfect. Give it about a year. And I looked at
Mhm.
her and I was like, a fucking year?
Huh?
Like, are you kidding me? Like, no, I didn't work my ass off during this pregnancy. Still, like, and I didn't work my ass off. I, went to the gym. I didn't have to, but I
Right.
just moved, did my thing, took care of myself, ate really well, did all the things right. And you're going to tell me it's going to take a year?
Uh-huh.
And she was pretty close. Like I said, I think about 6 to 8 months in, I finally felt like I could hold a core normal again. And I really do feel like I had my body image back by a year. So that was really refreshing to hear. And then I have to remember, like, this thing took 9, 10 months to get to the point where it was. Like, what do we tell people who are looking to lose weight? Like, hey, it took years for you to put that on. It's probably going to take years for you to put that off. So the same thing goes for a child. And yeah, I feel like it was pretty darn close. But the good news is that it does come back and it's not easy. And it's a lot of work, just like it was when you were pregnant, but it does come back and you do get back to your normal, confident bod, I guess,
Mhm.
eventually. So,
I think what I appreciate is just your openness about that goal and that journey because I had the same goal. I was like, I really liked my body before I got pregnant. I was actually probably one of the fittest I've ever been in my life before I got pregnant.
yeah,
And I feel like nowadays, like with body positivity, which I'm all for, by the way, there's a little bit of a, I don't know, it sounds, you're like not even supposed to say anymore that you like want your body back. But I'm like out here being like, well, I'm just trying to be real.
I
And
know.
I fucking do want my body back because I liked it and I worked hard
Yeah.
for it. And not only for how it looked, partially for how it looked, but also for what it could do. And so the conversation is not like you need to lose weight after you have a baby or you're not worthwhile until you look like you've never had a baby before. It's just like personally, I had that goal where I was really happy with myself and that's how I want to look. I don't feel bad saying it out loud. And
Yeah.
if I didn't want to look that way anymore and I was just out here in my new skin feeling confident about that, that would be
That'd
fine
be
too.
awesome too. Exactly. Yes, I know. I definitely, yeah, I'm kind of over like beating around the bush, I guess, with
Thank
things
you.
these like
Yeah.
it's just like this is what it is. You can like it or you can leave it. And sorry, but that's the truth. So yeah, I feel like it is like you nailed it. It's not about the way I look. It is about the way I look because I love the way I look. It's about what it can freaking do too.
Mhm.
Like we are incredible humans
Yeah,
and I've worked really hard. We all work really hard to get where we're at. And yeah, what's wrong with being a little bit confident about that? So
totally.
yeah.
And now you do that for other women too, well, and men, right? Like that's part of what your business is.
Yeah. So, I mean, I truly think that I say this all the time. I love seeing people, back squat, I don't know, 250 pounds or whatever their goal is. But what I really love more is seeing the weight come off of people and like them pulling out a pair of jeans that have been in the closet for 6 years and be like, holy shit, these fit again. Like, I knew I kept these for a reason. Like, oh my God, like that look on their face is what really makes me the happiest. And yeah, so I do preach a lot about nutrition. I mean, I'm not going to lie, it doesn't just happen because I'm breastfeeding or because I'm working out or because I live in a gym. I literally sit behind a desk all day long, like a bunch of people in this world. I'm
Mhm.
not on the floor except for the 1 hour of a day that I do take a group class. The rest of the time, it truly does happen in the kitchen. And I love teaching about that to both men and women. So yeah, it's been super cool.
Do you find that now that you've had the experiences of growing your own family that you approach nutrition differently? Like if you have new moms or breastfeeding women, because I feel like there's not a lot tailored to that season of your life, if you
Yeah.
will,
Yeah.
nutritionally.
Well, when it comes to the kids, I try to be as human as possible. Like hey, look, moms, there are still goldfish in my cupboard. There are
Mhm.
still fruit snacks in my cupboard. If Gavin doesn't want to eat what I put on the table, I don't blame him sometimes. I had roast last night. Like it's not the most flavorful. It's kind of chewy as a young kid. So I had some hard salami for him that I know that he likes as his protein, but everything else he usually does a really good job of eating. I just try and offer it to him first. And then if he really shows no interest in it or is like, yuck, then I try and give him something because I know I don't want my kid to starve. But,
Right.
I mean, I try not to stress about that portion too much. I just try and make it available and then he can make a choice if he wants it or not. As far as like, I forget the other question. Me personally, where I forget where we were going with this, but I just try.
It all works.
Okay,
Keep going.
okay. I just try and eat as much color in my diet as possible. Like more of my plate has vegetables on it than it does protein and carbohydrate and fat. And as long as I do that, I know I can't fuck up really. I
Yeah.
mean, so
Yeah. Are you coaching other women through this phase of life too?
I am. So
Yeah.
my members, so it's called the Nutritional Lifestyle. It's through an online program that I have called Go Far Lifestyles. It basically pairs the virtual world, fitness and nutrition together. And I have people that are just doing fitness, and I have people so they don't really come to my gym here in Omaha, but they do it worldwide. And then I have the nutrition part, both here at Big Omaha Fitness, and then, of course, everyone around the world. And it's super cool. I do these 30-day challenges. I have a workbook that somebody can just download and read and start a challenge like today if they wanted to. And then I offer challenges that are done with a bunch of people all over the world. And they're about once, every, yeah, a month and a half. So maybe once every 6 to 8 weeks. And it's just more or less to get people eating more vegetables. I think that that's a common fault in America and I think worldwide in general. And then just like learning about how to manage stress and how to get to the gym, drinking more water, just taking better care of themselves overall. I think that a lot of people don't plan and prepare meals as often or as frequently as they need to. And
Mhm.
so finding that habit, making that like a lifestyle, really, I find a lot of success in teaching people how to do that. So
That is 100% the hardest part of it for me
it
too.
is. I know.
100%.
I know.
I'm like, I find myself on days like find myself on days where I need to do all the things like first thing in the morning where I'm like, I need to like feed the baby, prep the baby for daycare, which means like prep all his bottles and get all of his shit and feed the dogs and the baby's got to get to daycare and the dogs have to get to their daycare and I got to get by the time I get to my office, which is only a couple of days a week that I don't work from home, but still, by the time I get to my office, I like don't have anything. Oh, and I've already pumped once in the morning and I packed my pump parts and did I pack my cooler and it's just like, fuck, I'm doing the best I can. And I did not prepare food for myself. I did not. So I'm either going to pick up lunch or I'm going to eat a Cliff Bar for the rest of the day. Like,
I know. I
it
know.
just,
Yes.
there's no time for all the
It
things like
is.
that.
It is. It's really stressful. My husband had a hernia that, turned into a suspicious lump that turned into just being a hernia. It was kind of a long drawn out process for
Oh
several
God.
months now. I know. So we had that on top of having a baby and moving buildings, but he finally got it removed yesterday and thank God it wasn't it was not cancer. I was fine.
Yeah.
But like literally, it was 100 degrees here in Omaha, and I turned the crock pot on because I was like, I am gonna have to take care of him. Not that I don't have to take care of him every day, but I have to take care of
Meow,
him and
meow.
the two boys and the dog and this and that. And I was like, I don't even care it's 100 degrees. I'm turning the freaking crock pot on. And I told you we had roast. And I was like, I am more afraid of not having a plan and what that would turn into than actually having a crock pot on when it's already ungodly hot outside. Like
Yeah.
I didn't even care. But that's the type of planning that it's got to take, if
Yeah.
that consistent practice if you really want to have the results that you want to have. So
I totally get it. I
you know.
totally get it. We invested recently in like a meal service here.
Yeah.
And actually, and also I should say that I happen to order Ice Age meals, which is a really nice option.
Yeah.
It's just sometimes like I didn't bring the frozen meal with me to work. So it's like dinners and stuff at home have been kind of easy because we've been doing that. Oh, there's a local service that drops off like prepared foods, and they'll just give you like
Nice.
just like 2 pieces of grilled salmon or like just roasted veggies in a plate. So that's been nice. So
Nice.
between those and the Ice Age meals for dinner, we're usually good. But like I did not, even if we have it, even if we meal prepped, like did I have time to physically pack it into a bag and leave the house with it? It's like the last
I
thing
know.
on my mind after I
I
pack
know.
everything for everyone else.
I know. I know.
Ugh,
Yes, I
nightmare.
know. I know. Well, you're doing great, Mama. You are.
Likewise.
Yeah.
We can do it. We can
Yes.
totally do it. So
Yes.
what are your goals, if any, now that you're kind of in this season of life where you're starting to get back into the swing of things and you're adjusting to life with two, but you're back at work? Like, do you have
Yeah.
personal, professional, fitness goals all around?
Yeah, I think since we moved CrossFit Omaha into this building that Dustin and I built, this has been a process for like 3 years. So finally got into the building. The goal is to just now that all like the tiny little things like I don't know outlet coverings, things like that, last minute projects that needed to be done. We just want to get the place humming. So we have two different programs. We have CrossFit Omaha, of course, that's still the staple of our home, and then we have Big Omaha Fitness programs, which are like HIIT, Code Red Cardio, like boot camp
Fun.
types of programs. So there's a solution for everyone. It's literally a one-stop shop. Then I offer nutrition on the side, so you have no excuse not to join. Just get that membership humming. So I feel like it's kind of like we're starting a tiny little gym within a really big gym,
Yeah.
and get more people in the door. Not necessarily, I don't even care if they don't do CrossFit. Like I know CrossFit's not for everyone, but I literally have a solution for you. And the incredible thing is that everyone wants to lose weight. And so I know how to do that.
Yeah.
So come see me.
I love that.
I think of course we have a goal, we want to grow that program by 100 people just this year. So we have I don't know, what quarter are we in? Yeah, we're three
We're like
months.
halfway through.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've got, half a quarter already, or half a year already out of the way. But after that, I really want to get to a place where I can put the boys in school activities after school or during the day or whenever, and totally know that. And I got a little taste of this when I was on my maternity leave. Walk away from the gym and know that everything is going to be okay, and
Yeah.
that my team's got it. And we always tell them, like, run it like you own it. And they all do. Like, I literally have the ultimate dream team. So I hope that continues. And then that would be my goal, is get the boys in, all the activities, and be that mom that runs them around town all day
Hell yeah.
long and
Yep.
do
Yep.
that thing. So
That sounds awesome. I'm gonna steal that line and bring it back to work the next time I am on maternity leave and find my next replacement. Run it like you own it.
yes. Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
I
So,
love that. Man, I have similar goals. I gotta tell you, the second that that baby can walk, Hunter's going into gymnastics lessons.
oh, yes. I
100%. Matt
know.
and I are like, there's nothing, we can't find a single thing better. Number 1 is gonna make him the greatest CrossFitter of all time.
Yes.
CrossFit Games
Hands down.
2040, you just
Yeah, right.
wait.
I know.
Um, and number 2, just like body awareness, muscular development, posture, like, even like behavior and like listening to the coach. Like, it just seems to be the greatest foundation that we could give
Yeah.
him. So that's
Yeah.
our plan.
And physical activity. I mean, not that the kid
Yeah,
isn't already active, but yeah.
true, true. I think we're gonna skip right over crawling and go straight to
Yeah.
walking.
You probably
Truly.
yeah.
Truly. He hates
Focus.
hates being on his knees, can't figure it out,
Oh
like,
my
just, like,
gosh.
sleeps right out on his belly, but he's, like, obsessed with
Oh,
putting pressure on his feet.
there we
Obsessed with it.
go. It's gonna
Mhm.
happen before you know it, Nikki. It literally happens overnight. So I
I'm
know.
not
I
ready. I'm not
know.
ready. Oh
And then
god.
it's like game on after that. There's no, oh, just go. Yeah, I'll be there in 2 minutes, honey. Like set some toys down in front of him, and he'll keep himself occupied for
Uh-huh.
5 minutes. Like, it's all over.
Shit.
So
Well, because
that's
that's where we're at right now, like, 2 days a week, he's home with me, and I just am, like, literally, like, on a Zoom call or doing work, and he's, like, on the playmat on the floor with a bunch of toys next to me, and that's all day,
yeah,
all day. Matt and I are
yeah,
just passing him back and forth because 'cause we're working from home, and then the other 3 days he's
yeah.
at daycare, and I'm like, "Oh god, this is, like,
Yeah.
not gonna work." I'm, like, called up daycare this week, and I was like, "When can you get him in for 5 days?"
Yeah, right? I know, yeah. They learn a lot there too, so
Yeah, he seems to love it. He seems to be
good.
thriving with all the other kids.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
great. That's great.
This was so nice to catch up. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for hopping on and just giving us some insight on, like, what your world has been like. The move from 1 to 2 is like, well, it's on my mind. And I just am so, like, I have so many questions about all the things. So thank you for coming on and giving us some insight into all that.
yeah, thanks for having me. It goes fast for real. Like every day, it's just what happened today? I don't even
I
know. I mean,
I blacked out. I have no idea.
pretty much, but it's so awesome at the same
That's
time.
why we do the thing at the end of the night as parents where we put the baby down for bed and then you spend like a half hour scrolling through
Yeah,
the
right?
photos of the baby
Yeah.
that you took
Yeah,
today
I
on
know,
your
right?
phone.
Oh. So true. Oh my God,
You
so true.
know? Oh,
Love it.
man. Well, yeah, Stace, thanks so much rather for coming on. For everyone listening, you guys, thanks for tuning in for another one of these episodes. As always, if you have more ideas on the types of topics or guests, let me know, slide into the DMs or shoot me an email, and I will continue trying to find people to fill those spots. So for everyone listening, thanks so much for joining us, and we will talk to you guys soon.